How are you going to prevent things in season when the thought process probably needs to be more geared towards like how are we preparing ourselves for the season, right? That's where the bulk of I think the injury prevention is going to happen.
Sure.
Especially with the conditioning, strength, and agility work, and like working on the mechanics of the agility work. Because there's sport specific training, which is the soccer skill specific stuff, but then there's general physical preparedness too, which is going to build all those athletic attributes, like what makes you a good athlete or a resilient athlete. And that's what we want, like the strength and conditioning program to be like preseason. I guess, if we're looking at these injuries, this list of the most common ones, some of them are unpreventable. Collisions, unpredictable events, right? But if we're looking at through the injury prevention lens, what are some tips that we can do to prevent some of these injuries in season?
Definitely strength training, right? As we mentioned, having an actual program developed where it's actually, tailoring to the needs demands that you need to have on the field, right? So for me, when I got to more of like the college level, it was a lot of like training with, a strength conditioning coach who like actually knows what they're doing and like that's their specialty, and making sure that you're keeping your muscles strong enough to be able to withstand the demand of the sport, the loading forces throughout the joints, and making sure that, you have that extra support, sort of saying, strength-wise.
Yeah, and this could be a whole separate podcast episode in itself. Just like strength training, conditioning for soccer-specific athletes, because there's some specific things that they're going to need in season compared to other athletes. And just like body composition and like size and markers that you're going to want to see from like an agility, strength, endurance standpoint. So there's a lot of stuff that goes into that, but the bulk of that does need to happen before the season starts. And, having good baseline tools and assessments and having an athletic profile, you think of like what is a soccer player's athletic profile and what are the demands that they're going to need to be. You could also branch that out into position specific things too, right? Certain players are going to have more endurance aspects to what they need to do. Some are going to need more agility aspects and things like that.